It's a very warm welcome to everyone. It's such a profound pleasure to welcome you to my virtual book launch of my 4th published book, The Good, the Bad, and the Naughty. And it's amazing to have some beautiful people as speakers this evening on this virtual book launch. You know, many people have asked me in the last few days that, look, this is my book launch, so it should be all about me and what I do, and also to talk about the book. But for people who've known me for very many years, they also understand that my brand represents not just me, but most importantly, the voices of our community. And so, you know, ever since I've been organizing Black History Month celebrations at the UK House of Parliament for since 2013, it has always been the representation of voices of Africans and Caribbeans around the world. And so it will be impossible to organize this without you. And each and every one of you as speakers has a very, very, very profound impact in my life today. And it's also a pleasure that you're all here today also to share your initiatives with the outside world so that they get to know the great work you're also doing in the community. Just briefly, The Good, the Bad, and the Ugly is my 4th, and the Naughty rather, is my 4th published book. It's a book of poetry on life experiences and lessons. I wrote it in November last year, and it talks about different themes and subject matters of life, love, relationships, politics, sex, war, all sorts. But it also gives tribute to great people around the world, such as Nelson Mandela, the late George Floyd, the Chibok girls of Nigeria, and also members of my family. There's a poem on my father, my mother, my brother, and sister. It's available on Amazon, so a link will be shared out shortly. The link will also be shared also for my YouTube channel, the Tony Tukumbo Fernandez Show, which is all about promoting the true life and success stories of Africans and Caribbeans around the world. My host for this evening, for this virtual launch, is a good friend of mine, Mr. Derek Ziva from Zimbabwe. He is always behind the scenes doing great work, and it's a pleasure to have him on board again today. It's a pleasure to have you all again here today from various cities as well. And I hope that at the end of this evening, you'll get to share your stories with each other as well. And so God bless you all. Our first speaker, I'm going to hand you quickly over to Derek, but our first speaker for today is going to be Dr. Sohail Ahmed here in Bradford, who manages a wonderful initiative called Bradford for Better. He is a doctor. He does some amazing work in Bradford, cleaning up the streets of Bradford. He also has some free sessions and workshops on how to save people from having stroke. He does all sorts. And only last year, 3 months ago, he was nominated as one of the best GPs in the country. He made it to the last 5 out of over 300. So I hand you over to Derek, who will introduce Dr. Ahmed. And once again, it's so nice to have you all today. Relax, enjoy, and the stage is yours. Thank you.
Thank you, Tony. So unfortunately, due to Zoom, I can't. You'll have to remember to unmute yourselves, before you speak, because I'm not able to unmute you. I wish I could show my face. Unfortunately, I'm battling COVID at the moment, so I'm not looking exactly in the best of shape. But yeah, I'm here, and it's a pleasure to be supporting Tony. I've known Tony for for a very long time, almost 20 years. And yeah, we go back a long way, and it's actually a privilege to be working with Tony on the various initiatives that he does. And Tony is one of the most underrated people in the UK. I really hope that more people will actually recognize the good work that he does, and bringing the community together, and bringing communities together, rather, not just the community. And I do hope that with all our efforts, and we'll be able to make sure that the Tony brand spreads throughout, and he gets the the recognition that he requires. So yeah, on that note, Dr. Ahmed, if you can just unmute yourself and take us through your presentation.
Hi, good evening. My name is Sohail Ahmed. Pleasure to meet you all, and welcome to this wonderful evening. All the guests and speakers, and obviously Tony Fernandez, who's a very good friend. So I had the pleasure of meeting Tony very recently, actually a couple of months ago, at an event we supported in Bradford, the Black History Month celebrations in Bradford. And I can say without a doubt, I mean, we are blessed and honored really to have somebody like Tony in Bradford. And he's an absolute gem, and he's for this city as well, he is absolutely amazing to have somebody like Tony within our sort of city. So this evening, again, I'm very humbled to be asked to say some words, and I have read Tony's previous books as well, and this one is just as good. And for me, I mean, I write some stuff as well myself, mostly screenplays, but I've always felt that when somebody writes anything and makes it public and publishes it, it's one of the most intimate ways of sharing oneself, one's thoughts, feelings, emotions, and just a part of yourself, a piece of yourself, which is forever immortalized and leaves a legacy, a footprint forever once it's published. And it is really sort of special when somebody writes something so deep and profound and from the heart, which clearly this book is written from. And it has so many different flavors, and very rarely you find a book of poetry or any sort of work that's got so many different facets to it. There's so many different ideas and thoughts which really provoke so much feeling with this work that Tony's done. So I just wanted to start with some of the words that really touched me from this the latest book. I'm not going to give any trailers or spoilers or anything, just one or two lines from the book for those that haven't read it yet. So I just want to share these lines. So, for great things are possible even through the fears of a storm. We shall sing through this moment of unknown melodies. For what we have before our very eyes is a chance to celebrate, a chance to liberate, the will to educate. And I really, that's so profound and so meaningful, especially in the current climate that we're living in the uncertainty and times that we live in now. And it's such an uplifting sort of celebration in those words. So I'm really thankful for these words that you've shared with us, and the time that you've taken to think these through and share these with the rest of us and the world. So thank you very much, Tony. So just to say a few words about the work that we do here in Bradford as Bradford for Better. For those that have never visited Bradford or are not familiar with Bradford, Bradford is a very, very uniquely diverse city in the north of England. Very diverse, uniquely diverse, dynamic, a colourful city. A name that is synonymous with diversity and culture around the globe. And this is an amazing city that at one time in the 19th century was one of the richest cities in the whole entire world, and has a deep legacy of commerce, and had a rich textile industry over 100 years ago. And on the back of that, it's created a legacy of welcoming people from all around the world whether sort of migrants for work or for education, or for welcoming people who come from different parts of the world. So on the back of that, this city has many sort of titles. It's a city of sanctuary, welcoming people, refugees, asylum seekers from all around the world, and it has a status of sanctuary, a city of sanctuary of the world. It's the first ever UNESCO, a UN city of film, beating the likes of Cannes and Venice to that status. And it's the first, and now there's many, but this was the first city of film in the world. A city of youth. It has one of the youngest populations in the whole of the United Kingdom. So really energetic, youthful city. And it's also widely known as a city capital of curries, which if you enjoy that type of food, it's well known for that. So that's a bit about Bradford. As Bradford for Better, the organization that I am involved with, I'm vice chair of. This is again, it's quite a young organization, started about 3 years ago in Bradford, and to say it in a sentence, it's a community action group, which literally came about through the actions of residents in a neighborhood who looked around themselves and said, look, we don't really like this place as it looks, and we want to make a change. And they got their hands dirty, they picked the tools up, and they said, look, we're going to make this place better. And that's where the name came from, Bradford for Better. Because a group of people, ordinary people, residents, decided that they wanted to take action and be empowered to make Bradford a better city. And from that onwards, the snowball started, and it developed from one neighborhood, one street, into a whole area, developing all across the city, where now we have close to 8,000 members across the city of Bradford from all different backgrounds. And we have a number of different projects that started off with cleanups in different streets around the area. We've developed into, as Tony's mentioned, we do life support training, we do all sorts of events, such as the one that we partnered with Tony with the Black History Month celebrations. And we have so many different facets now, we're expanding our work. And the key of it is a completely non-profit, volunteer-led organization. So there's no corporate element to it. It's not funded by anybody from the council. It's essentially people coming together and saying, look, we want to do this for our city, and what can we do to make it better? So that's the essence of it. And it looks at sort of things like behavioral change and empowering, educating, and energizing people to make that change and take ownership of this city. And some of the projects that we're working on, they're on a very large scale. And we hope and we believe that these are some of the examples that we can set for other cities around the world, not just the UK, to learn from what we've achieved in the last 3 years. So yeah, that's Bradford for Better. So if there's any questions at all, I would hand back to Derek to take over. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Dr. Ahmed. Thank you so much, and I'm sure people will get to know more about the great work you're doing in the community. Derek has a slight cough at the moment, but he's still here, letting people in and assisting as well. I would like to bring on our next speaker. Her name is Dr. Geraldine. She's based all the way in Cameroon. And in fact, I only met her virtually. I only met her maybe about 3 months ago, before Christmas, on LinkedIn. And we were chatting, and she told me a bit about what she does, but I don't want to spoil it for you because she's an amazing, amazing lady. And I actually met her when I was just finishing off this book, and I was looking for someone to proofread it. And there she was, and she took the book from me, and she proofread it under 2 days. But before that, she said to me, Tony, we've met for a reason, and we have to fulfill that calling. And that journey continues. So without spoiling much of it, because I want her to tell you a bit about what she does as well. all the way in Cameroon. Let's welcome Dr. Geraldine, and please give her a hand of applause.
Hello? Hello?
Hello,
Yes, we
Geraldine.
can hear you.
I can hear you. I can hear you.
Good evening, everyone.
Good evening.
And Tony, I'm so delighted to see you today. Just been chatting on WhatsApp, on LinkedIn, and today I'm so happy to see your face and the faces of all the people who care so much about you. Thank you so much. It's a sacrifice for me to be up at this moment. The kids that they're playing, I'm just pinching myself so the wood come around here. Thank you so much for this opportunity. The good, bad, and the ugly. Which one would you choose? You choose a good person, the bad, or the ugly. No matter how bad people are, you will always find something good in them. No matter how good they are, you will always find something bad in them. No matter how ugly they are, you always have something good in them. So there comes Tony's book. It's like that. In this book, the good, the bad, and the ugly, we find things that are pleasing, things that are not pleasing, and things that make us to want to live again, like the ones you find in his love poem. I would like to start with this first poem, More Than Just a Black Man. More than just a black man. In this poem, it is a reassertion of the black identity and the reassertion of the self, the black self, more than just. The persona in this poem is reasserting the self because he or she wants to debunk stereotypes, misrepresentation that has been tested on the black man by the white hegemony. And in this point, we would like to bring in the discourse, the post-colonial discourse of center margin, the self and the other. So the person who defines the other person considers that person to be inferior, in quotes. And he that defines the person thinks that he or she is superior, in quotes. But Tony defies that kind of stereotype by saying that the black man is more than just a black man. This poem also raises the question of black identity and the lies told for over 100 years about black people. And the personal pronouns used in this poem, I am more than just a black man, testifies that the persona or the person speaking the poem is a victim of such stereotypes. And the addressing of your possessive pronoun, attributing a heart and soul living beyond the pictures painted by your brush, defining legacy, creating new history, embracing the present moment, yet feeding new lives with color. That brings us back to Africa. The new lives that the black man seeks with color are children born to black people from one generation to another, and they are crossing new worlds with stories. They too have a story to tell. The black people have their own story, in the same way that the white people have their own story. So no one is superior to the other. So this black man is dismantling stereotypes that are tapped or stuck on the black people by their white counterparts. And I will want to call our attention to this idea of planting. In the second stanza, the last verse of the second stanza of this poem, we have, yet, singing from the script of a new emancipation, yet planting new seeds, dressed in in the clothing of different shapes. What are these seeds that we are planting? Is the love the black person plant? That willingness to contribute to humanity, bringing new children, is planting. And then this very image of planting is recurrent in Tony's poetry. As we see in another poem, beg your pardon, I have to screen up on my computer. It's time to plant love. So Tony is not only angry at how Black people are misrepresented, but he also talked about love this time. It's time to plant love. So love here becomes a metaphor. Planting, we plant seeds. So love becomes a metaphor for seeds that have to be planted. It loves either children, acceptance, inclusion, and you can name the rest. And Tony loves freedom. When he talks about Nelson Mandela, when he writes about more than just a black man, when he writes about it's time to plant love, then we should know that Tony is a peacemaker. In his poetry, he is calling for humanity to love one another, to come together and build a better world where there will be no difference, where black and white are all the same, and we only define people according to what they got to offer to the community, to the society, to mankind. Okay, about me, I'm a secondary school teacher. I teach English language and literature in English. I've also taught English and medicine at the University of Montaigne for 5 years. I'm a writer. I'm an environmentalist. I plant flowers, and I encourage waste management, proper waste management. And I do organic food gardening. I am trained in natural medicines in the tropics. I treat people, I treat malaria, I treat all the ailments around our community. I'm a budding entrepreneur, and I want to show you one of my products with biscuits. They are based on sesame, just sesame and honey and cinnamon. So I do this so people can't eat junk. You have to snack on healthy food. And I'm a published writer. I have a book on Amazon, Music in the Woods and Other Folktales. I'm somebody who loves my African tradition, and I want to encourage this folktale tradition to continue. That's why I'm documenting them. And I'm an editor at Word City online journal. It's a monthly journal. They're based in Canada. I'm a poet. I love music. I love singing. I love dancing. I love cooking a lot. I cook a lot, and I cook good food. I love meeting friends. And the first time I started really communicating with Tony was on 28th. It's 2 months ago. Exactly 2 months today. That I communicated with Tony on WhatsApp, and this is where we are now. We hope to go further. Thank you, Tony. Thank you, everyone. If I don't stay here till the end, just know that I'm listening in my spirit. Thank you so much. Bye-bye.
Thank you so much, Dr. Geraldine, and we will catch up soon. So lovely to hear you. And please, if you want any proofreading paid work done, any initiatives, please go contact her or contact me, and I'll put you in touch with her as well. Coincidentally, we have another Cameroonian sister today who's a speaker, so I'll introduce you to her too. She's based in Rotterdam, Netherlands. But I want to quickly bring on now as well another great, amazing gentleman. His name is Mr. Esau Bassey, and he also has a copy of the book. He bought it a few weeks ago. He is currently the founder of the Cross River Movement, he does some amazing work. He's also worked in the Cross River government before as a special assistant to the governor for IT, and he's done so many things over the years. I first heard of him many years ago, even before we started talking. And one thing I love about this gentleman is that he creates things from scratch. So please, let's give a hand of applause for Mr. Esau Bassey. Thank you very much.
Well, Tony, thanks for such a wonderful introduction. Yeah, it's really, a great pleasure and, privilege to be on this platform this evening. Like Tony alluded to, we've been connected, I think, for the best part of maybe 12 to 15 years, if I'm not mistaken. And the shame there is that Tony and I have not physically met, which is such a shame, Tony. So maybe one of these days I'm going to jump in my car and drive up to Bradford so that we can, meet face to face. But, we've been in touch on, a number of different things over the last, maybe 12 to 15 years. And I really want to commend you, Tony, for the great work you're doing, celebrating Black History Month in the UK, and also the passion that you have for promoting initiatives of Africans and Caribbeans. Very, very commendable, and you do it selflessly, and it's really a wonderful thing that you're doing. I also want to commend you for the book. It takes commitment, it takes discipline to produce a book, and you've done it 4 times over. So, you deserve 4 times as much commendation for, for that discipline and commitment. So I'll be the first to admit that, I don't have the aptitude to, appreciate the nuances of poetry. I try my, my best, but there were 2 poems that really sort of stood out for me, and one of them is the one titled "How Bad Can It Get?" How bad can it get? And it starts with the word "still standing." And when I read this poem, I felt that it speaks very much about the situation in our country, Nigeria. In many respects, you could say that the institutions, the things that are supposed to hold the fabric of society together have fallen apart in Nigeria, yet we're still standing. Yet you have, 200 million people with, strong aspirations and, a desire to, to move forward. And it sort of reminded me of something that I think it was a CNN anchor, Richard Quest, said when he visited Nigeria a couple of years ago. He was amazed at what he saw, and he came away, and the statement he made was something to the effect that people were doing amazing things in Nigeria, not because of the government, but in spite of the government. Yeah. So we have institutions that have collapsed, but you still have vision, you still have desire, you still have aspiration in the hearts of the people in Nigeria. And, I think that's really a wonderful thing. The second poem, obviously, is the Bring Back Our Girls poem, which I found quite interesting, and something that runs through the different, I don't know if the right word is stanzas of the poem, is the fact that words are not enough. Words are not enough. So there's often a lot of talk. You sit down with us Nigerians, and there's a lot we can say about how things are not working, and there's a lot of talk, but the truth is really that words, are not enough. And I think that sort of thinking is what gave rise to the Cross River Movement. Now, I appreciate that, we've got an international audience here. So Cross River State is one of 36 states in Nigeria, and it's in the southeastern part of Nigeria. It's got a population of about 4 million people, and it borders Cameroon. So, maybe one of these days when I'm in Calabar, maybe I'll find a way of getting across the border to meet with Dr. Geraldine and other guests from Cameroon. So that's Cross River State, and I'm passionate about. So that's my state. That's my home state. I'm really passionate about things in the state, and really just bringing people together to see how we can help to foster the development of the state. Like Tony mentioned, I served for 6 years with one of the governors in the state. So the Cross River Movement really is, is a not-for-profit organization. It's non-governmental, it's non-partisan, and what we're seeking to do is to bring Cross Riverians and lovers of Cross River State together, worldwide, and create a platform for people to engage and collaborate and take action towards bringing about a brighter future for Cross River State. So take action is critical because like Tony's poem said, words are not enough. So we've got to take action. So the Cross River Movement, it really has 3 broad objectives. So these objectives are developmental. How can we support development at the grassroots? And this is taking into consideration that the government may not be doing what it's supposed to do. It may not be meeting its aspects of the social contract, but it doesn't mean that we fold our arms. If people come together, a lot can happen. And I've seen that practically, in various projects, various voluntary projects that I've been involved in. We also want to inform and enlighten people about, things happening in the States. So, bring out facts, bring out information, help people make better decisions, when it pertains to things to do with the state. And then we also have political objectives. So even though we're non-partisan, we realize that it's important to influence the political space. So we're doing that as well. And so February being the month of love, we had an interesting campaign going on, which we called the Love Cross River campaign. And through that campaign, we're able to galvanize people around the objective of showing love, demonstrating love to the state by, whether by supporting a social cause, maybe by, making donations to a charity, or, just doing something that benefits people and communities in the States. And, we've had some interesting things which have happened this month, which, give us a lot of hope and excitement. So that's really it about the Cross River Movement. And, Cross River State was once, and, probably to some extent is still known as the tourism capital of Nigeria. So, for anyone who's outside Nigeria, you're looking to visit Nigeria, don't come to Nigeria without visiting Cross River State. So Tony, thanks very much for for this opportunity to have shared about the movement. It's really a privilege to be here, and I look forward to really working with you on more initiatives going forward.
Thank you so much, Esau. Please give him a big kind of applause. And Mr. Esau Bassey is going to be having some more initiatives in the next 3 to 6 months. We can't talk about them yet, but we'll keep you posted. And just to say, I'm constantly proud of you and the great work you're doing as well. So thank you so much. Now we're going to also bring in another amazing gentleman. He is my brother-in-law, based in New Jersey, USA. He does some amazing work. And it's so nice, it's so lovely because my family is here today. His family is here today. So it just makes it feel so nice and juicy to have this today. So his name is Roger, Mr. Roger Okewole. His brand is called his brand is called Niger Pop Arts, and he'll be talking about Niger Pop Arts today, also his work and initiatives, but also where you can buy his work. Talking about underrated also, he is very underrated. I had a discussion with him a few weeks ago, and he said to me that, he feels sometimes that his work is not really is not the in thing at the moment. And I said, no, that's not true. You have your target market audience, and we will continue to position your brand to his right target market audience. You'll be seeing a bit of his work this evening, and you will see the precision and passion he puts in it. And we'll also be sharing his website and his Instagram page. But he's also a civil engineer. He's been a civil engineer for very many years as well. So please, let's welcome Mr. Roger Okewole and give him a big hand of applause.
That's a huge introduction, Tony. And I have to live up to it now. I am honored to be part of this group, following up with Dr. Geraldine and Dr. Ahmed and Mr. Bassey. I read the good, the bad, and the naughty. And I'm like Mr. Bassey. I don't claim to be an expert in poetry. In fact, that's what impresses me the most. I always appreciate really a person who can do things I cannot. I feel like I'm very well versed in a lot of things, but I know what I do not know. And Tony, I really appreciate, because there's always a reason not to do things. And when I started Niger Pop Art, there were any number of reasons not to start it. And now it's a going concern, and it's moving, and you have been one of the people that has constantly encouraged me with it and encouraged me with what I'm doing. As far as the poems, Dr. Geraldine talked about some of them that jumped out at her. My favorite, I have to say, having been married to your sister for 18 years, is There Is Only One Nicolette. So that's your tribute to your sister. And I must say, though, that another one that jumped out at me is Bring Back Our Girls. And I was horrified at the reaction, to touch on what Mr. Bassey was talking about, of our powers that be, to the abduction of the Chibok girls. Anyone who knows me knows that if Tiffany, your niece, and my daughter were taken, it would kill me. And I'm not just saying that figuratively. It would kill me. It would actually kill me. That story touched me to the core. It really, really did. It was not just a news story to me. And I developed a real hatred for some of the people in power that didn't seem to care. At least didn't seem to put the girls in the prominence that they deserved as human beings and citizens. More Than Just a Black Man struck me as well, because today I was watching a documentary by Dr. Henry Louis Gates on PBS here in the States, talking about this country and Reconstruction, the years after the Civil War, where Dr. Geraldine was talking about the white supremacy. And here there was a concerted effort towards breaking down the gains that the African Americans had made after the Civil War. And there was a concerted effort to rewrite the history of the Civil War itself. And we see with the January 6th coup, let's just call it what it is. It was coup. If it was Black people that had done what had happened, it would be called a coup, not an insurrection. We already see in February of 2022, already that history is being rewritten. And things like that, I actually welcome, because it goes towards a lot of what I do with Niger Pop Art. Niger Pop Art is about changing the narrative. So it started out more or less traditional. I was just doing general traditional t-shirt designs and logo designs for companies and all that. I did brand design. But by chance, I was asked to do some designs for the Greek gods, Hercules, Zeus, Ares, and all of those ones, the ones that we hear about and see in movies all the time. And then I decided, why don't we do some of the Nigerian deities as well? T-shirts and all that. Why should a young person of African descent know more about Thor than about Shango? Or about Venus, Aphrodite, than about Annie of the Igbo people? Or about Demeter than about Katyeleo of the Senufo people? And why should they think of Africa as a monolithic entity, as opposed to a group of multiple countries and even more ethnicities within those countries? So I started doing those designs, and that took on its own, that gained a lot of life. There are two major thrusts that I'm going with Niger Pop Art these days that I want to speak to right now. One of them that caught my attention was on Facebook, of all places, on a group called the Nigerian Nostalgia Project. And I'll share some contact right now, Derek. And this novel, can everyone see it?
Yes, we can.
Was published in 1939 by Mr. D.O. Fagunwa. It is thought to be the first full-length Yoruba novel, and it is in the genre of sword and sorcery. Now, anyone who follows that kind of stuff knows that Conan the Barbarian, which gained Arnold Schwarzenegger so much fame for his movies in the 80s, is in the sword and sorcery genre. So it is that kind of fantasy guy with his sword having a mystical adventures genre, okay? It was translated to English by Wole Soyinka in 1968, the Nobel laureate. And what I took it upon myself to start illustrating different scenes from this story. So, here we go. So this is a scene in the story where the hero of the story sees his stepmother transforming into an antelope. Now, the idea behind this is to make the stories more accessible for youth, because they're surrounded by Marvel and DC comics. They see Captain America, Hulk all the time, Iron Man all the time. I wanted to show them something that was African, but was not from a made-up country. Wakanda is a made-up country. It does not exist in real life. Black Panther is not real. There are no Panthers in Africa. And I've already had some white folk, misguided white folk, try to use that as a kind of pseudo supremacy argument with me. Okay? So this is one that I've showed Tony before that he likes. This is the hero of the story confronting an ogre, a 16-eyed ogre. And the armor the ogre is wearing, the giant ogre is wearing, is modeled on the bronzes that the London Museum, quote unquote, borrowed from Nigeria back in colonial times. So the fact is that we don't have castles with standing suits of armor there for reference. So the argument is our history did not exist before colonial times. That's the argument, and that's something that we debunk. I work to debunk, and I try to change that narrative. I try to add some perspective to our stories. I try to make our stories. Here's another one real quick. So this is a forest lord that the hero of the story encounters during the story. And this gentleman was king of a lot of forest creatures and was part of many of the adventures in the story. And the idea behind this is I don't see why a young African child living outside of Nigeria should know more about Thanos from Marvel Comics than about this story. I don't see why. I personally don't see why. It's in no way inferior. Behind me, you can see comic books and all kinds of action figures. And I have the Conan the Barbarian stories here. And there's no reason why there should be more knowledge of those stories than of these ones. There's something else that I'm doing. So this is the, okay, here we go. This book is, I got this at Terra Culture in Lagos. Terra Culture is a big bookstore. Tony, you were with me when I got this. This is the History of the Yorubas by the Reverend Samuel Johnson. He was the Bishop of Lagos in 1921. And what I decided to do was I decided to make the historical figures more accessible to get us beyond who discovered Victoria Falls, which we were taught was an Englishman, or who discovered River Niger, which we were taught was a Scottishman, okay, to get us beyond that. And I started doing scenes like the way Lord of the Rings, or if anybody follows Lord of the Rings or Game of Thrones, the way that's rooted in Anglo-Saxon or Celtic tradition. I'm trying to get some representation from our roots as well. So I did a representation of Oduduwa, the founder of the, okay, so I basically did these prints. I drew Oduduwa as the Godfather, having him sitting like Michael Corleone in the Godfather's movies. And the idea is to make him look like the boss man, the big boss man. Okay, that's the idea. All right. I give a little history of the people. Thank you very much, Mr. Bassey. I saw your message. I give a little history of the people underneath each plate. And here is one of the heroic figures, who is Queen Moremi. Okay, she is, and I modeled her armor on the pictures from the London Museum. Okay, and the sword also is on weapons that were looted from the southwest of Nigeria back in colonial times. So I'm trying to change the narrative that, look, our history did not start with slavery. It did not start when the first ships came and they started stealing people from the shores of Nigeria, but what became Nigeria. All these items are available for sale on my website, which is www.9ja, pop art, all one word, 9ja, popart.com. And they are all available for sale there. My Instagram handle is 9ja, the number 9ja _pop_art. So I look forward to seeing you. If you have any questions, thank you, Mr. Ahmed. Thank you. So yeah, my ambition is to find a publisher to utilize these illustrations in a book to basically illustrate the book I showed you, The Forest of 1,000 Demons, and the history of the Yorubas, for use in schools to make it more accessible. Because I have been told by second-hand sources that the history being taught in Nigerian schools is not up to par. It's not up to desired levels. And I'm hoping that it would make it. I will tell you, I learned a lot of my history from comic books. I learned about Roman history and German history. Yeah, my mother is there. She bought me the comic books. Okay, from Asterix comic books, and a lot of my European history from Asterix School comic books. I learned a lot of my World War II history from those battle action comics. Anybody who is around my age will remember from the 1970s. I learned a lot of my world knowledge from things like that. And I feel like accessibility is key. And I feel like when you have something like Game of Thrones that goes to millions of people and is rooted in the Celtic tradition, and you see people wearing clothes that are obviously rooted in the Celtic tradition, it is not nefarious, but it in a way pushes that culture. And when you don't see other cultures, or you only see them in a negative light, then it allows other people to write your narrative for you. That's where there is a problem. That's why I love the movie Gandhi so much, because I know that the movie is imperfect, but I remember watching that movie and said, wow, they really took hold of their own story here. They really, really did. I watched that movie as a child over and over and over and over again. I love that movie. And Tony, I salute you. You've done great things. There's always, I'll repeat what I said at the beginning, there's always a reason not to do something. And I salute you for doing the book. I salute you. I will always support you, my friend. Always. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Roger. And I'm always proud of you, and keep up the amazing work. And
Thank you.
It's so amazing to have our family here as well.
Thank
I
you.
also have to mention also that Esau Bassey, who previously speak, because we have some Nigerians and West Indians in the house, is also also a son of the Nigerian West Indian Association.
Okay. Okay. Mr. Bassey.
Father is from Calabar and his mother is from Jamaica as well.
Okay.
And so I think his sister has also been involved in writing some research projects about West Indians in Nigeria who continue to do amazing stuff.
All right.
So, all one family. So, thanks so much, Roger. Proud of you always.
Thank you.
And we want to move now to Rotterdam in Netherlands to speak to another speaker who is a Cameroonian lady. I met her many years ago because for so many years I've been organizing community awards initiatives in different countries. And the very first award initiative I organized was in Rotterdam, Netherlands, many years ago. And it was amazing. It was such an amazing 3 days out there. I was invited there by Club Afrique organization and Don Zubi Entertainment. And I had just started my radio show then. And I think that was the start of when I began to network properly in Europe. And I never took it for granted then. And I met Barbara then. She's a very humble lady, but she was also involved in this book as well, The Good, Bad, and the Naughty, because she formatted it as well. But she's also going to talk about also the services she provides and how you can reach her if you want something done. And she's going to sing a song as well. So please give her a big kind of applause.
Thank you. I hope I'm on. Let me check. Yeah, I'm on. First of all, thank you so much, Tony, for inviting me here. And I really have been gobsmacked, actually, sitting here and seeing those images from Mr. Roger Okewole, listening to Mr. Esau Bassey, listening to the doctor, and listening to my sister from Cameroon. And, you know, I just sat saying to myself, Tony has done it again, what he seems to do best. Because I say seem, because maybe he's doing some other thing better that nobody knows. But man, this is amazing. And he just, I wasn't expecting this, what I'm seeing. It's just beyond my mind. First of all, I'd just like to quickly appreciate Tony for his community work. Why is this so important to me is because he's sharing himself. Tony's really sharing himself, and you can see it even in this book.
Sorry, I'm not even. I was listening to something.
He's taken like pieces of himself in different ways, and we are all really enjoying that self. And I want to thank you. And I went through the poems because of the thing that he said I was doing, the formatting and so forth. And let me put it this, actually, I have it, I have the book here, but I'm just thinking, where do I start? So I would just go general, and I'm so glad that the other guests, they are pinpointing various aspects of the book. This book that Tony has written, it's a work of love, more than a book of love. And I'll explain why I say that. It's because the entire atmosphere of that book, of the entire thing to me, the good, the bad, and the naughty, the entire thing to me is an expression of love. I don't know that he himself, usually writers, they write things and they cannot gauge how somebody will interpret it. But I saw it as love, as the essence of Tony towards the people. And Tony, I'm sure Tony has gone through things in life. I'm sure, ups and downs. But for some reason, he's been able to send to people around him that love, that care. Because if you're willing to create something that will showcase people, it's love. So this whole book has been really about love. And I don't know how many people are really watching us or who will watch us in the future, but I will really advise people to go and get that book. And this is not just a marketing gimmick. It is because what I've noticed about that little book, actually it's a really little book. So if you don't like reading big books, that is an excellent book for you. But what is really noteworthy about this book is that it's a kind of book that when you're feeling down, when you're not feeling really good, if you take it, it has something about it. And I think I heard Mr. Esau Bassey also and also Mr. Okewole. They said they are not in the artistic world, or they don't get all those understanding, but they still got something in it. That means you don't have to have all this understanding, and that's the power. That's the power of anything we do. If we can get to everybody, it shouldn't be for the little few who went to school there and did that thing, or have some kind of appreciation for something. It really should be able to touch everyone. And I think that's the power of this book. It has the ability, whether you like poetry or not, that you will read it and you enjoy. There'll be something there. And I could see Tony's really literary ability, how he played with words, even in poetry, which if it's opened out, it will be something else. But he's able to use his words, like Pink Sunday. He used the words, and you have to think to realize what he's saying. Beautiful, brilliant. And I think it is that, and I will move really quickly to what I do. That is because it links to what Tony has done, a sense of love. And interestingly, as I was listening to the other guests, I was really excited in my heart to see a writer, to see people in the world of artistry, because actually my background, it's in writing and all that, and copywriting and a number of things, and also I'm a singer. Yeah, I'm going to sing because I did agree with Tony that I'll do that, and that song will be linked to this, but there's a reason why I was so impressed and moved and thought, Tony, you're just doing it again. But before I say that, I want to thank Mr. Esau Bassey and everyone from the Cross River State, because there are people from my country right now running across the border, running for their lives. And the people in the Cross River State, they've received them. There are people who can eat now. It may not be that much, but I want so much to thank Cross River State and their amazing governor. I wish all over Africa we had governors like that, or people like that. I really want to thank, and I'm using this opportunity to just do that. If for anyone who comes from that place, I want you to know how much a lot of us appreciate you. So thank you so much from the bottom of my heart. Thank you. The other reason that I was moved is because actually my publishing house is coming up really shortly, which have been there for a long time, and I changed a lot of things. And there are two things that got me really interested here because of what I'm doing. The connection with Tony is that aspect of love. In 2020, I found a book, during Corona, and The book literally molded my life. And when I saw this book, I said, my goodness, I need Africans to read this. This will get us out of whatever is holding us down. I got some editors. They translated it. No, my company, we sort of got translations done, really manually. And then so I got the editors to translate, to work on the translations. They did excellent job, excellent job. I went to Amazon to put it there, only to get back that this language is not compatible, that language is not compatible. I was getting really upset. And then I tried Swahili, not compatible. Swahili has 100 million speakers, as opposed to the little languages there. This got me angry. And I decided that I'm going to change the whole face of my publishing house and turn it even into an aggregator, because then after a while I started researching what is happening. And I realized, language is so fundamental to our understanding, to our getting knowledge. Africa is the only country where children go to school. We are speaking English at home, and you enter the class, they start speaking Chinese with somebody with a cane. If you don't speak the Chinese very well, they beat you. There were kids, so it's that you are speaking your mother tongue. You enter into a class and they're speaking English to you. I saw kids in Uganda put in what we call mukutabak, in sacks, and they say, I am stupid because I speak their language. I'm stupid because they can't speak English. And this is really so fundamental to what is happening in Africa. So I decided I'm going to do this. My publishing house is going to become an aggregator, and I'm going to get any works written in African languages. I am going to fight and push and open doors for works in African languages to come out. We are going to do a lot of things. But during the time of this research, that's when I discovered the aspect about knowledge. And because of that, by God's grace, I now started, I called my little sister, who is a software designer, and we are now starting a startup, apart from my publishing house, a startup that is going to take any language. So imagine doing coding in Istikrosa, or yeah, I'm sure it's there. So what we are doing is we are taking anything in English, in any language that can bring value to our people's lives, and turn them into African languages. And what we're doing is the technology we're going to use is going to lean on what's already there, but something that we hope, kind of neuroscience, that we hope to patent in the future. And our aim is that we take it and we are not leaving any African language. We are taking whatever is there that will show our people how to raise their human value, whatever it's do, and we change it into any African languages, both orally and in written form, so that whoever needs to listen, if they cannot read their language, because I cannot read Mungaka. I come from a people called the Balinyongas. I can't read Mungaka, but I can speak Mungaka. So that's our plan. So at this moment, we are just, because we are working, the publishing house, as I said, I changed lots of things. So we are looking towards Q2 to sort of not really launch, but to start moving. And so I'm inviting writers, African writers who even write in English, because that's the language. And if they imagine they would like to see their works in their languages, contact me. And there's so much I can't say here, but I am just within my aim is to shift the status quo, because I have seen that even poverty in Africa is not just poverty. It comes from knowledge denied us by a barrier of language. And when you speak English, you won't realize that you are only of a little group of people in Africa. Do you know that more than 80% of our people do not speak English well? They don't understand it well. And they are living in countries where, I mean English or French, any of the white man's language, but they are living in countries where the only way to get possibilities is through the white man's language. So many people are stuck in poverty. And I hear Brother Okewole talking about this imagery. You know, I was looking at that and I was so excited because this is exactly what we need. We need to break and break. And so that's what I'm doing. So if you want to contact me to get more about in the one with knowledge, we have a questionnaire that we're sending out. So if you want to have, if you look at the questionnaire, then you'll have an idea what we're doing. And the answers we got from that questionnaire, my brothers and sisters, really showed that the poverty and the lack of jobs and whatever that's there. So it doesn't need to be. There's a young Nigerian girl I met who I call my Shiro. This girl is called Amaka. She was a banker. She started a farming concern. She says, and she wrote a book, she says, Africans are working on gold. She says we import poverty into Africa and export the gold of what we have. What she's doing, she's showing people how to plant and grow food in flats in Lagos. She's showing amazing things. This is what we have. And yet people have to learn English to go and learn these things. This is not acceptable. So that's what we're doing. So I can explain more later. Actually, my mouth is dry because I'm so excited what I've been hearing here. And I kept saying, Tony, you've done it more than 1,000,000 times for me because I'm seeing amazing people doing amazing things. You're bringing people from Cross River states. I am like your biggest fan now because you've been saving my people. I know some have died there, but you've saved some people, and I thank you. And for this reason, I want to, I'm going to drink water, and I'm going to sing a song of love. It's a kind of appreciation, and also with the way I saw Tony's work. So I'll sing this song of love, and I'm telling you, if I could sing a song in Efik, or in any of the languages over there, I would do it because it would be my way of saying thank you. But I'm going to sing a song well known by many people, well, my generation. I don't know about the younger people now, but it's a song called Malaika. And it was first made famous by a lady called Miriam Makeba. But it was written actually by a Tanzanian, and I also hear sometimes that it was a Kenyan. But I want to tell, to show our African people, and that doesn't mean I'm racist. No, I think if what is happening in Africa had been done in Europe, I would have had a problem. I would have also said this thing. But this is happening in my continent, and I'm seeing the results. In a continent that we are so powerful, we don't have to be this poor. But there are many things that are keeping us poor. Our languages, number one. Anyway, I'm singing that love song, and I'm singing a love song to the people of Cross River States. I really appreciate you. And to the people of Nigeria in general, to all African. So I'm going to do Miriam Makeba's song. Give me a moment to take a sip because my mouth is dry. I've been so excited. So I have to shift a bit. And I hope my mouth stays wet. So here we go. Malaika, nakupenda malaika. Malaika, nakupenda malaika. Ningekuwa dada. Nashindwa na mali sina we, ningekuwa wa malaika. Nashindwa na mali sina we, ningekuwa wa malaika. Malaika, nakupenda malaika. Malaika, nakupenda malaika. Ningekuwa waje, ningekuwa dada. Nashindwa na mali sina we, ningekuwa wa malaika. nashindwa na mali sina we, huo ningekuwa wa malai. Kidege ukuwaza, kidege, kidege ukuwaza, kidege ningekuwa wa mali, ningekuwa wa dada. Nashindwa na mali sina we, huo ningekuwa wa malai. Nashindwa na mali sina we, huo ningekuwa wa malai. Pesa za sumbua roho yangu, pesa za sumbua roho yangu, nene na menifanye kijana mwenzio. Nashindwa na mali sina we, huo ningekuwa wa malai. Nashindwa na mali sina we, huo ningekuwa wa malai. Malaika, nakupenda malai. Malaika, nakupenda malai. Na kijana mwenzio, nashindwa na mali sina we, huo ningekuwa wa malai. Nashindwa na mali sina we, huo ningekuwa wa malai. That was my love song.
Please give her a hand of applause. That was amazing, and we're so proud of you. And I'm sure you'll able to keep up the amazing work you're also doing in Netherlands.
Yeah,
and please feel free to reach out to Barbara in Rotterdam, Netherlands, to find out more about her initiatives too, and how she can provide an amazing service to you.
I thank you all. I've seen the words there. Thank you.
Thank you so much. We're proud of you, and we love you all. Thanks for those who are just joining us. We're still on the virtual book launch of my 4th published book. But most importantly,
I don't want to speak.
The success stories of people doing amazing work as well. Now, I would like to bring on another amazing elderly lady. Her name is Mama Antoinette Clack, originally from Barbados. She has a poem to recite for us as well. And I also interviewed her a few weeks ago on my show called Life Begins
at 80.
And I don't know, that video continues to go viral. It's gone so many places. And you should take time to watch that video to know more about her life story. But most importantly, to know that age should never be a barrier for us to embrace the present moment. My father turns 80 next month. And one of the things which completely amazes me sometimes is that his thirst to life and to work hard every day. And even next week, in the next 2 weeks, he's going to be publishing a book at 80 as well. And that has been a lesson for me as well, to show that, age should never be a barrier in creating greatness. So please give a warm welcome to Mama Antoinette Clack, who's here to read her poem. and to share her story with you. But also, please feel free to connect with her today. Use the chat box as well to connect with people you wish to connect with, so that that journey continues for us to make a difference. So please, let's give her a big hand of applause.
Thank you very much, Mr. Tony Fernandez. It's wonderful to be here tonight. I must say that you are an amazing person. I really like the way that you connect people together, especially people from the African diaspora and Africa. You've really made life much better for people from those areas. And I must thank you. I also thank your mother, Pauline. I noticed that she is here tonight, for introducing me to you. It was through her that I actually met you. So hi, Pauline. Hello. So I will go on now to my poem. And it's all about Africa, because I started writing poems since I was a little girl. But as I never knew anything about Africa. I never even knew that I was part African until I came to England, when I started doing research and studies. Because all my education was European education, British mainly, you know, Henry VIII, Queen Victoria, Wordsworth, Longfellow, all of those things I could recite. In fact, when I came to England, I was more knowledgeable than the English people that I met in relation to these educational experiences that I had in Barbados. So it's now that I'm actually learning and actually helping people to understand a lot more about our origin, which is something that this poem that I'm going to read is all about. It's called African History Revisited. It was first, I published it in my first book of poems, Uanka, which was published last year in October. And I first composed it in 2003, and then I updated it again recently. So here goes. Children of Africa, have pride in yourselves. We are not people without biographical histories. Our past did not begin with the Atlantic slave trade that many of us were taught to believe. We were told that little contributions to the world Africans have made. African history is usually seen through Eurocentric eyes and is mostly obscured and hidden by lies. Africa had dynamic social systems, sustainable technologies, and innovations. Let's look at some of these ancient creations, as well as some of the Ionic Africans. You've probably heard about European universities. Did you know the first university was the 12th century one in Timbuktu? It catered for tens of thousands of students from all over Africa. The 10 richest persons today are male European. But the richest man that ever lived was Mansa Musa. He was the emperor of the Mali Empire. Before Christopher Columbus reached the Americas in 1492, an African had visited America. This was King of Mali, Aboubakari II, who traded in America in 1311. Have you heard of Great Zimbabwe? The largest archaeological settlement in Africa? An Ionic construction bounded without binder and mortar? This was erected by our African ancestors. The granite dry stone wall with its Ionic structures was built between 15,000 years AD. Sadly, it stands in ruins today. We were taught that we were devoid of history, but our past was willfully hidden in obscurity. Did you ever hear of the Zulu Empire, a kingdom that thrived in South Africa? They were an organized military nation that vanquished the British invasion. Did you know that our ancestors smelted iron and gold in Manjung-Pupwe? And artifacts like the golden rhinoceros was made there. Have you heard of the Shanghai Empire, the largest and mightiest empire that existed in sub-Saharan Africa? It was much, much larger than the Mali Empire. Many things are kept hidden from us. So be determined, persistent, and seek for yourselves. You might have heard of the Great Wall of China, but did you know that a much bigger wall existed in Africa? The Great Wall of Benin was 8 times bigger than that of China, spanning 16,000 kilometers in West Africa. Our achievements, architecture, and technologies were assigned to others, to people who were not even relatives nor brothers. Our treasures were diverted from our descendants' door, while our existence was described as useless and poor. We were told that no African created these extraordinary inventions, and that they were made by ancient Arabs or Europeans. Have you seen the rich Benin bronzes in European museums? They were created by the hands of Africans and were pilfered from ancient African kingdoms. What of the mighty fearless women warrior of the Dahomey kingdom that fought against the French invasion? You probably heard of the stone circles of Stonehenge in England. But did you know about the Senegambian stone circles in West Africa? There are more than 1,000 stone circles covering an area of 30,000 square kilometers. They are the largest concentration of stone circles in the world, says UNESCO. Despite the above, few tourists visit these phenomenal innovations, and little emphasis is placed on these creations. It befalls us, you and me, Africa's descendants, to educate ourselves about Africans' ancient history and monuments, and promote and advertise these illustrious inventions. People without a past have no meaningful tomorrow, but knowing about your history enhances your futures. Learning about who we are and where we come from is fundamental in developing a sense of belonging that is essential to build confidence and empowerment, which is vital for development. Let's act to add our illustrious past to our modern accomplishments and steer us to limitless achievements. So mote it be. And Tony, thank you very much for allowing me this space to recite that poem. And I must congratulate you on your 4th book. I'm going to get a copy tomorrow, actually.
Thank you so much, madam.
Thank you very much.
Thank you. And thank you for your amazing work. Lovely to see you. And it was beautiful, very beautiful poem. Please leave your details in the chat so people can connect with you as well. And
Okay.
Now we're going to move on to Lagos to bring in my mother. I can see her there to say a few words, and with my family as well. So she encouraged me to write. She pushed me when I started writing at the age of 9. So give her a big kind of applause.
Hello, Tony. Hello, everybody else. So nice to be here to see you all. I remember when Tony was about 6, his teacher in school in London said she had something to tell me. She called me. She knew only a story with a beginning, a middle, and an end. To her, that was something very, very important. So that's how it started. When we got to Nigeria, the following year, when he was 7, I think when he was 7, he was just given a bag books to read. And the artistic part of him got a bit discouraged, but it came back in a different way. So nice to be here this evening, and so nice to hear all of you and see all the faces. Thank God. That's all I have to say.
Thank you so much, and thanks, Mom, and thanks for the encouragement. Thank you, everybody. We're also now going to move to Philadelphia to speak to the mother of Roger Okewole, who has also been very encouraging and a big inspiration. Yes, her name is Mrs. Ferron Okewole, and it's a pleasure to have her here this evening. So like I said, Roger is married to my sister.
She's retired to Tennessee. She's retired to Tennessee.
Oh wow!
Yeah, she's moved on. She's moved on to another phase.
Yeah.
Upper phase.
Yeah. So she's in Tennessee now. She's out of Philadelphia.
Yeah. Tony, nice to see your face. I have to make an admission here. The poem number 6, which is titled "The Best." I love all the poems. I told Roger that the day after I bought the book, I read them all the same day. And I called him up. I said, I like all the poems, but there's some that really jump out at me. But this one called "The Best of Each Moment," I have put in brackets. I call it hope, because it really is a poem about hope. And I like the word hope. You use the word "if" a lot, but that "if" is not conditional. If is a conditional feeling, but it's not if, it's a certainty. You said, if I can live through, if I can draw new, if I can paint more, but you know you're gonna do it. So it's not an if, it's a must. And you used hope in the last stanza, there are 2 stanzas. You used hope, the word, if I can paint more pictures of hope and glory. And I honestly, when I started reading it, I thought, this is a poem about hope. And I came upon this word hope, and I have just put it, the best of each moment, brackets, hope. I've renamed it hope. It's a beautiful poem. They're all good. They're all good, Tony. I like, one of the former speakers mentioned it, the sweet noise of Pink Sunday, using words, like that. And you have to feel what it is. I love that one. If I invest one moment, there I go again with the if, Tony, but it's not an if. It's not a conditional thing. You know it's going to be, but it's, it's a way, it makes it sounds good. If I invest one moment, you're going to invest it, and it's going to come out right. I really love, there's only one poem of all of them that did not jump out at me. I can't even remember which one it is, because all the others do. And of course, you talk about my friend, Miss Polly. You greeted Miss Polly. You greeted Siji, your dad. You greeted Nikki, my daughter, that I borrowed long before she married my son. I borrowed her from Pauline as a daughter, long time. And they're all beautiful. And of course, Stephen as well. It's a lovely, I have all your other books as well. And of course, I have this one as well. It's wonderful. And I've known Tony from the time he got to Nigeria. I've known him. So in other words, I knew him when he was 6 or 7. So in other words, Tony, I've known you all your life. Thank you very much. That's all I have to say.
Thank you so much, Auntie, and lovely to see you. Thank you to everyone. We're just coming to the end slowly. I'll like to bring on now, all the way in Nigeria as well, another West Indian, amazing lady, Mrs. Yvonne Oke, who is here with us today. And she's an amazing auntie, and it's beautiful that she's joined us today for our first virtual event. So please give her a hand of applause. Derek, can we unmute Mrs. Yvonne Oke?
Go on, Yvonne.
Oh, did you say? I didn't hear that. Yes, Tony, what are you saying? I did not hear. You were speaking to me?
Yes, we'd like to welcome you, and maybe you have a few words to as you celebrate with us today.
Yes, well, I can just say big congratulations, on the launching of your book. Have not read any one of them. I'm hoping I'll get a copy soon. And congratulations to my dear sister, Pauline Fernandez, and Farron Okewole, Antoinette, and Barbara, everyone.
Thanks.
So interesting listening to everything, And I said I shouldn't miss this today. So I made it, I put it on my calendar, and I said, you remember, Tony, I said you should give me a reminder. But I went on Facebook. I went on the WIG, NWIG.
Nice to see you again, Nancy.
Yeah, and I got all the details. So big congratulations, and the sky is the limit. Well done to everyone. God bless.
Thank you.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much. Lovely to see you. We're just rounding off now. I'm trying, if we can, Mr. Arrow Leonard, if he's still there. He's based in Abuja, Nigeria. He is an amazing gentleman. He's been a mentor to very many Nigerian role models in Nigeria, very many musicians. He's an exceptional man. He does amazing things in Nigeria, and he's behind most Nigerian musicians as well, one way or the other. So it's a pleasure to have you here today, joining us. The journey has been profound, but I'd like you to introduce yourself to everyone, but also tell everyone also about the amazing workshops and media initiatives you're having at the moment in Nigeria, which is making a big difference to so many people. Many people in our country continue to talk about you every single day. So welcome.
Thank you, Tony, and congratulations. Greetings to everyone. Just lying down on my bed and watching this, and honestly, I would say this is one of, you've done so many amazing recordings, interviews with a lot of people, but listening to the poems, listening to everybody speak has really been wonderful. I was just thinking, anyway, I don't need your permission to do this, but I know I'm going to be cutting up things from this. I'm putting on some radio stations that I'm supervising currently, because this is just wonderful. This, I would say, is the best thing I've listened to this year, and I'll be putting it out there. Honestly, it's been really wonderful, really wonderful. Let me say, right now what I do is media development, just helping the media industry in Nigeria to grow, helping train broadcasters to focus on development themes. Currently, I'm the executive director of West Africa Broadcast Media Academy. It's a give back to the society by some veteran broadcasters, Kevin Ejiofor, Jikato, and the likes. And when I left BBC Media Action, I was asked to come pilot it and start it. We just had a grant from the US Embassy, and we've been doing workshops on detecting fake news and debunking fake news, which is really a problem worldwide, not just in Nigeria alone. We have elections coming in Nigeria, and there are lots of things that go on online, and if not checked, could cause a lot of problems. So we've been doing lots of workshops on that, and it's just part of what I do, which is about encouraging people to give positive stories. I was just sharing with someone, a young journalist today. They love to share terrible stories and things like just to get clicks. You can imagine the kind of thing we've listened to and watched today on this show. Imagine that being shared. Imagine those stories being brought out. Imagine all those wonderful things that, just take the poem by Mama Antoinette, going out there and trending. Imagine what kind of change that will cause in our lives in Africa. And I'm hoping that by the time we keep sharing this, this wonderful initiative by Tony, I'm sure it's going to cause a lot of change. People will start thinking differently. We'll start telling our stories. We'll start seeing a lot of positive things that come out of Africa, and we'll be proud of ourselves. I want to say congratulations, Tony. Even though I've not read the book, I know what it will be like when I know you. And I just thank God for your life. I don't just know what to say, because take the media people you've interacted with over the past few years in Nigeria. It's like you were just like a saint coming into their lives. And I believe that a lot more will be coming from you. I wish you all the best. I pray that this movement you've started, goes far and wide. This is a unique movement you've done. You're a unique person. And I just thank God for your life. Once again, greetings to everybody. God bless you all.
Thank you so much, Mr. Leonard. It's so lovely to have you here. And thank you for all the amazing work you do in Nigeria. A few years ago, Mr. Leonard told me that whenever you come to Nigeria, if there's any TV station you want to walk into, just let me know. And, he actually was one of the first people who listened to my radio show very, very many years ago. And I'm proud for people like you in our country who promotes our narrative. We're just rounding off slowly. I've sent my YouTube channel on the chat. Feel free to subscribe to the channel. If there's an initiative you wish to share or promote on platforms, do let me know. But before we round off, if there's anyone who wants to come in and say anything, please do so before we allow you to enjoy the rest of your evening.
Tony, I just wanted to say one thing before you close. I wanted to make a comment about the title of the book and the artwork. It's really beautiful. A book, you never know what's in a book until you read it, but it helps if it's an eye-catching book. It's eye-catching. The writing is big and bold. You don't even need glasses to wear it, and it's beautiful. And the color scheme also is good. It's one of the things I told Roger after I read the book, that from the time I picked up the book, I loved it, even before I opened it. You know what I mean? Well done.
Thank you so much, madam. Thank you. I appreciate. Thank you so much. Is there anyone who has to say anything or about anything you're doing at the moment which you feel people should know about? Please feel free. Okay, it's been so lovely to have.
Okay, I just wanted to say, please, for anyone who wants to get the survey, I just left my number so I can send. Okay.
I'd like to see the survey, Barbara. I'd like to see the survey.
Okay, I'll send it. I'll send you.
Thank you. And for the stuff that I shared, the history of the Yorubas and the Forest of 1,000 Demons, if anyone knows a publisher that would be willing to publish those books, publish those illustrations of mine as a reprint of the books. I know that there are rights, there are copyright issues. I'm a civil engineer. I don't know how these things work, but I would love to have the first Yoruba novel created as a graphic novel, an accessible graphic novel for youth. I'm not claiming that my work is the best out there, but it's better than nothing. And so I would love to have a situation where Shango is as synonymous with thunder and lightning as stories. Thor is a Norse god. And if anyone knows any publishers that are looking for a hard worker, Tony will tell you that I will not be outworked. That's not just family loyalty. I will not be outworked. So you won't have any issues getting the artwork in place. If anyone knows of any publishers who's looking for anything, please get in contact with me through Instagram or through my email, ninjapopart@gmail.com, and I'd appreciate it. Thank you very much.
Can I just answer to that quickly? I'm really looking forward to meet with Roger and talk about a number of things, but for now, especially his work. Okay.
Sounds good.
Okay, that's fine, and I'll get. I think I created a virtual WhatsApp group for the speakers today.
Yes.
So Roger's number will be there. So please share your ideas with him. That would be lovely.
Thank you.
Before we go, I just want to bring in Amanda Coker as well, who is also here with us today. So she's my sister, also a Nigerian West Indian daughter. So can we bring in Amanda Coker?
Hi.
Hi.
Good evening, all. I'm fine, thank you. Fine. I've just been listening in the background. And yeah, Tony, been supporting you, since the beginning, and you have my support, for a long time to come. So very proud of you. I haven't bought my copy yet, but I will do. After this call, I'll be getting my copy, and look forward to reading what you have to say. I've enjoyed your previous works as well, and yeah, I'm sure this won't disappoint. So yeah, well done again. Proud of you. Thanks to all the contributors. It's been a very enlightening evening. So I've been quiet in the background, but I've been listening. So yeah, that's all I have to say. Well done. Keep shining.
Thank you so much, sister. God bless you.
Amanda.
Hi.
I see Simon is hiding down at the bottom there.
Yeah, so Simon, you have to talk.
Yeah,
Okay, so-
I wanted to make a statement that I don't know any publishers, but I vouch for Roger's work. It is the best out there.
Simon, can we see you? See your face and let people know a bit about yourself.
You see how he looks like me?
Really? Yeah. Good afternoon, everyone, or good evening, wherever you guys may be. I'm in Jackson, Tennessee. I am Roger's brother and Farron Okewole's son, and a sister, a friend, and to everyone, I guess. But I'm just blown away by the ability of us to kind of connect in this way.
Yes.
And I sent a text message to my mom, letting her know that I was taking a little break from work, and I decided to log on. I've known the vast majority of these people my entire life. These people on this call for my entire life, their sisters, their brothers, their family to me. And I appreciate the ability for us to connect, and that's pretty much it. And I thank you for all the information and all the things that you've been able to disseminate to me. Really appreciate it.
Bye, Simon.
Okay. Okay.
Okay. So I guess that's it. I think my sister might want to say she didn't want to, but I'm going to bring her in to say a few words.
Yes.
You know.
Yes.
Someone asked me, and I said no, thank you. I'm not the speaker for the family. Well, I'm really blown away. I'm so proud, you know, and maybe I'm biased. My husband, his great work, my brother, all he's doing to connect everyone together. I couldn't be more proud, and really, everyone here, you all contributed something so powerful. So I can't thank you enough for everything you do for us. Thank you.
Yes.
You know, she said that she cannot speak, you know, so that was just a motivational talk just there right now. So amazing.
Okay, guys, I'm going. I'm going to cook.
Okay. Lovely to see everyone. Love you all, and we'll catch up soon.
Okay. Bye.
Thank you, everyone. Bye-bye.
Thank you.
Bye.
Bye.
Bye, everyone. Bye.
Bye-bye.
Bye.
God
Bye.
bless you all.
Let's see too.
Oh, yeah.